What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great Sunday so far. Let me know if my sound is good. Let me know if everything is good with the video. I have some emergency news to share with you guys. I was going to actually do a video update, but it was just too much to share in a video. So I thought it would make sense to go live. Otherwise, I would have to do like three separate videos because it's just so much stuff. Okay, sound is good. 5x5. It's great to see everybody in here. I apologize if I don't have time to read everybody's name off and say hello individually to everybody. For the purposes of saving your time, because it's a Sunday and I know everybody has things to do, and it's almost dinner time. I'm gonna just get right into the news. So I apologize if I don't have time to say hello to everybody individually. Um, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the news now. I'm going to jump right into the news, and then afterwards, I'll say hello to everyone, and we can have just an open discussion with the chat. Okay, but for the sake of time, I'm going to just jump right into it. Um, so we have some major breaking news, guys. First of all, right now as we speak, there's currently Russian drones heading towards Odessa. This is coming in just a few minutes ago. Russian drones are heading towards Odessa, and there's also the Caliber cruise missiles heading towards Ukraine right now. They were launched from the Black Sea. They're moving towards the Kherson and Mykolaiv region, and Ukraine is lit up like a Christmas tree right now. As you can see, this is the air raid map showing all of the areas in Ukraine that have air raids. There's air raids all across the country now. Um, so something big is about to take place here, some kind of massive strike. But we also have a Ukrainian drone attack taking place right now against Russia. So apparently, Ukrainian drones are heading towards Moscow, and there's currently air defense working in Moscow. Also in the Tula region. The Tula region of Russia is currently under a Ukrainian drone attack. Residents are reporting the sound of explosions in the Tula region. Air defense is apparently working right now. And we also have apparently an extremely large number of Ukrainian drones heading towards Crimea in different directions. Okay, coming towards Crimea from different directions and attacking different parts of Crimea. We also have Sevastopol under attack from Ukrainian drones. Explosions are heard by local residents. And apparently, right now in Moscow, the carpet plan has been announced at all Moscow airports. Okay, the carpet plan is basically a lockdown, a full lockdown of all the airports in Moscow. So Vnukovo and I don't know how to say this, Domodedovo airports have declared the highest security measures. The airspace above those airports is currently closed. We're actually right now getting some breaking news coming in right now that a massive explosion has just occurred in Odessa. This is literally coming in right now, like this second. We're just getting reports that there was a massive explosion in Odessa right now. Okay, but the airports in Moscow on high alert, fully locked down, airspace closed. Vnukovo, which is the largest airport in Moscow, that's like the main airport, and that's like shutting down JFK in New York City. and closing the airspace above it. And then Sevastopol and Crimea under attack, and the rest of Moscow under attack. So that's what's going on right now. We also have some concerning news coming from China and Taiwan. Apparently, a Chinese aircraft carrier was spotted in the Taiwan Strait area, right across from, literally right next to Taiwan. And there's been 3 Chinese military affiliated ferries that are now sitting at like an industrial dock right across from Taiwan. Okay, so these ferries are known as the Bo Hai Su Zhu and the Hang Da and the Bao Zhu. So these are 3 ferries that are owned by the Chinese military. They're not officially Chinese military. They don't have any markings on them, but these are massive ferries, and now they're sitting right across from Taiwan in this industrial dock, okay, in the areas known as Xiamen. Xiamen, I think that's right, Xiamen. All right. So it's possible that China is preparing an invasion of Taiwan very soon. We do have some breaking news that Putin is apparently going to be holding talks with Xi Jinping in October, and he's going to actually fly to China to meet Xi Jinping in Beijing in October. Okay, now if you guys remember, right before Russia invaded Ukraine, what did Putin do? He did the same thing. He went to China and he met with Xi Jinping like just a few days before the war started. And now he's doing the same thing again. So I don't know if this is because China's planning to invade Taiwan, or maybe Putin is going to do some next big move in Ukraine. Maybe he's going to launch nuclear weapons or something at Ukraine, or he's going to attack the Baltics, and he needs approval from Xi Jinping because that's Russia's main ally right now. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe China's going to do something with Taiwan, and so they're going to be holding talks. I don't know, but for Putin to travel outside of Russia has to be a serious situation. Okay, he never travels outside of Russia, even to China. So for him to be going to Beijing in October is huge news. Okay, but we do have a Chinese aircraft carrier in the Taiwan Strait, and that's the CV-17 Shandong, and then 3 Chinese military affiliated ferries, okay, sitting in an industrial dock right across from Taiwan. And what's also interesting is just a few days ago, Mark Milley was talking about Taiwan on CNN, and I find the timing to be very strange that he would suddenly be talking about it now. And then all of a sudden we have all these ferries, and this aircraft carrier near Taiwan. And then, last week there was that record number of Chinese warplanes that went to Taiwan. 103 warplanes flew towards Taiwan, in a 24-hour period, which is a record that's never happened before. The closest to that was like 90 something, like 93 in April of this year. But I'll read to you what Mark Milley said on CNN this week. He said, "It's quite possible the United States continues to support agreements on relations with Taiwan and corresponding guarantees. We want peaceful relations between China and Taiwan. But in military terms, I believe China will make a big strategic mistake if it tries to attack or capture Taiwan." Okay, so that's what Mark Milley said, that the U.S. continues to support agreements on relations with Taiwan and corresponding guarantees. There was another statement he made. I couldn't find it. I was reading it. I couldn't find it for the stream, but it went something along the lines of like, the U.S. would support Taiwan, and that China wouldn't be able to win, that they would have no chance of actually taking Taiwan because they would have advance notice that China was mobilizing. and then the allies of Taiwan would be able to mobilize and prevent China from actually invading. But I couldn't find that for the stream, but that's basically along the lines of what Millie was saying. So pretty concerning stuff here. I'm going to get back to Ukraine in a minute. I just want to share more about Taiwan because I really feel that we could be on the verge of an invasion in Taiwan. So here we have a picture that was shared by the Taiwan Ministry of Defense, and this was late last night. So they're showing a Taiwan P3 Orion that's gathering intelligence in the Dancheng Bay in Dongshan. Okay, these funny names for these places, Dongshan. Um, so basically, in this area of China, Dongshan, that's like right across from Taiwan. And that's basically like the closest port to Taiwan. It's literally like right across from Taiwan, right across from the Taiwan Strait. And so at that port, there's been a lot of military activity. Specifically, there's been a lot of ground forces massing in that area. Now, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I shared a video of tanks in China moving towards Dongshan, or I forget the name of the town, somewhere in that area, one of those ports right across from Taiwan, right across the Taiwan Strait. There was like hundreds of Chinese tanks moving by rail. And now we're hearing that there's all kinds of drills going on in the Dacheng Bay, that's spelled Dacheng Bay, and that's in Dongshan, okay, Dongshan Island. And so they have exercises going on right now. China's doing exercises with ground forces, okay, at the Dacheng Bay in Dongshan Island. I'm sorry, I can't say these names are just hard to pronounce, but basically, this is serious, guys. Okay, so this is that P3 Orion that they were sending out to collect intelligence on these exercises. Okay, so something's about to go down, possibly in Taiwan. And there's probably going to be some kind of massive escalation in Ukraine very soon, simply because Ukraine has been pounding Russia the last couple of weeks. Okay, they destroyed a Russian submarine, the Kilo class submarine, which is like one of their best subs. Okay, that's like like the equivalent of one of our attack subs. Okay, they're you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars for one of those. Okay, they destroyed the Kilo class sub with British missiles. Okay, they used Western missiles to destroy one of Russia's top attack subs. Actually, it was a cruise missile sub, the Kilo class sub. Okay, they destroyed a Kilo class sub. Those are the missile subs that they use to launch missiles at Ukraine. Okay, hundreds of millions of dollars probably for that thing, destroyed by Western missiles. They destroyed the warship as well. It was a Rapucha class warship, and on Friday they assassinated the commander of the Black Sea Fleet. Okay, so destroyed a Kilo class sub, destroyed a warship, and assassinated the head of the Russian Black Sea Fleet. Okay, I mean that's huge. And then in addition to that, the situation in the Caucasus is not looking favorable for Russia right now because they lost Nagorno-Karabakh, and there's all kinds of video footage coming out showing Azerbaijani troops shelling Russian peacekeeping barracks. Okay, the Russian forces that were installed in Nagorno-Karabakh. There was video footage of shells going off at one of the barracks where the Russian peacekeepers were at. But nevertheless, Azerbaijan has taken back Nagorno-Karabakh. The Russian peacekeepers have left, and now Armenia is on the verge of a coup. and the anti-Russian sentiment in Armenia is growing very fast, and they want to overthrow the government to install a more Western-friendly government. Okay, and then we have Kadyrov on his deathbed right now. He's in a coma. So Putin is really being pushed into a corner here now. Okay, Ukraine is also penetrating the defense lines. They just penetrated the final line of defense in Zaporizhia, the Surovikin line. They already penetrated it in one area, and obviously it wasn't like a massive, penetration. They didn't, it wasn't like a blitzkrieg or anything like that. But the fact that they were actually able to reach it and break through, that's not a good sign for Russia. And so now all Ukraine needs is more weapons and more tanks to exploit that weakness. And it looks like what Ukraine is going to try to do is they're going to try to go to Tokmak, which is like halfway between the front line and Melitopol. And if they can get to Tokmak, that would basically set them up for the winter time, and they could try to slowly split the land bridge in half. But Putin is really being pushed into a corner here. I'm really concerned that he's going to lash out and do something serious. I don't know when. It could be today, could be tomorrow, could be next month after he meets with Xi Jinping. But I can tell you this, Putin has to do something, because if he doesn't, he's going to look very weak on the world stage and also in Russia. So he's got to do something. Okay. So, I just have a really, really bad feeling. So, get prepared, guys. Okay. Desert Dave, thank you so much for the donation. New on your channel and appreciate the intel you provide. Thanks for the donation. I appreciate it. Can you guys still hear me good? Is my sound still good? Everything is good? My video and everything? Before I continue on, because I have a lot more stuff to go through. Let me know. Just give me a thumbs up. Okay, 5x5. Okay, perfect. Everything sounds great. Okay, perfect. All right. Sometimes, the connection is bad or whatever, you get cut out. We also have some breaking news. Ukraine is continuing to pound Russia with these precision strikes. And here we have some footage coming from Donetsk. Okay, and apparently this is one of the, I think this is like the headquarters of the Donetsk administration. Okay, this is the eastern Ukraine, the Donetsk Republic. Okay, and so this building here is the headquarters of the Donetsk People's Republic, and this was just today. They hit it with something, probably a Storm Shadow missile, or some kind of Western missile, long-range Western missile. Okay, so Ukraine is pounding all these headquarters. Okay, they're trying to take out the high-ranking commanders. They already took out the Black Sea Fleet commander. They're going after the Donetsk People's Republic leader, potentially Pushilin. So Ukraine is prepping the battlefield, and things are really gearing up for this massive counteroffensive. It looks like Ukraine is going to start this main effort soon. It looks like for whatever reason it was delayed and they didn't do it over the summer. Why that is, I have no idea. But it looks like Ukraine is going to conduct this counteroffensive over the fall and winter, okay, because Mark Milley also commented about this. Let me see where I have that. Let me see here. Let me see. I got my notes here. I'm going through my notes. I have so much stuff here. So Mark Milley basically said that the weather is not going to affect the counteroffensive, that the rainy season and the winter is not going to have any effect on the counteroffensive in Ukraine. So Ukraine is going to push through this. They're going to continue their counteroffensive even through the winter time. So what I'm thinking is that the main effort of the counteroffensive is yet to come. I think it's going to happen this fall and this winter. And I think that's when Ukraine is probably going to make the biggest moves. Maybe because Russia's not expecting it, or that's just the way it worked out. Things got delayed for whatever reason. Sometimes things don't go according to plan. You always have a plan, but how often do things always go 100% according to plan? They usually don't. So you have to still continue on with your goals. So we also have. I want to read to you a little bit more about Taiwan in a second, but we also have some more footage coming from Russia. This is near St. Petersburg. There's apparently a massive power outage in St. Petersburg. You can see all these apartment blocks are totally in the dark. This is a suburb of St. Petersburg. Okay. And we don't know why the power outage is happening, but from what I understand, there was some type of a loud explosion reported in the area, and that caused the power to go out. So it could have just been either an accidental transformer that blew up, or it was sabotage. I really don't think it was accidental, to be honest. I think this was some kind of an act of sabotage. LB Rules, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that, man. And thank you for gifting 5 memberships. That's so awesome. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. So here's some more breaking news, and another reason why I'm calling this stream an emergency alert. Russia is planning some naval exercises right on Poland's doorstep. Okay, so here we have a NOTAM that was issued right. It's for right off the coast of Kaliningrad here. Okay, so Poland is right here, and Poland's main shipping port, Gdynia is right here. Okay, let me just zoom in so you guys can see. Okay, this is Gdynia right here, and here we have Kaliningrad, and look at where this NOTAM is. Okay, so basically they're going to be doing some kind of naval exercises here, literally right next to Poland, right on the border of Poland's flight identification region. Okay, so that's pretty serious. And this was just issued today. Let me just read to you what it says here. So apparently, there's going to be exercises from the 24th of September, starting at 2100 hours UTC time. So that's actually like right now, basically, through October the 1st, 2100 hours UTC time. Extremely dangerous to shipping. Okay, that's what it says here. Dangerous to shipping. Okay, this is right next to Poland's main shipping lane. Okay, and they're doing these exercises literally right next to Poland, right next to their main shipping lane. This is where all the container ships go into Poland. And this is also where NATO equipment comes in as well. They go through this area too. Okay, so this is very serious for Russia to be doing a naval exercise, looks like live fire, right on the border of Poland. Okay, right next to Poland. I mean, this is like, imagine if you lived in, New York City, and Connecticut said that they're going to be doing live fire naval exercises, and you lived in New York City. It's like right there. Okay. So this is serious, guys. Okay, so the 24th of September through the 1st of October. So that's basically all week this week. Okay, right on Poland's doorstep, guys. Things are escalating really fast. Very, very fast. Bradley Moore, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. So let me just share this video with you guys. Here we have a video that was posted by the Russian Ministry of Defense, and apparently they're doing some massive exercises in the Barents Sea, and they're also going to be doing some exercises uh, uh, in the Bering Strait right next to Alaska. Okay, apparently 10,000 military personnel and more than 50 pieces of military equipment, including submarines and aircraft, are taking part in defense exercises. And this is going to be in the Bering Strait, right next to Alaska, and also in the northern part of Russia, the Barents Sea, which is like near Scandinavia. Okay, so they're doing naval exercises uh, in the Bering Strait, right next to Alaska. They're doing exercises in the Barents Sea, and then they're doing exercises right next to Poland. Okay, that's serious, guys. Very, very serious. I want to just skip back to Taiwan and read to you a little bit more about the situation in Taiwan because I forgot to read something to you here. So, this is coming from the Insider paper. Taiwan's defense minister said China's recent military activities were abnormal after a spike in incursions by Chinese warplanes around the island this week. Beijing performs near daily aerial incursions around the island, and on Monday, Taiwan's defense minister reported a recent high of 103 warplanes within 24 hours. Our enemy's recent movements are really quite abnormal, Taiwan's defense minister Chui Kui Chang told reporters outside Parliament in Taipei on Friday. Our initial analysis is that up to September, they have been doing joint exercises, including land, sea, air, and amphibious, he said. His comments came a day after the ministry flagged it was monitoring China's long range artillery, rocket forces, and ground troops around Fujian Province's Dachang Bay, an area facing the island across the Taiwan Strait. Okay, this is the area where there's those amphibious, where those ferries are, and the aircraft carrier. Okay, so things are really escalating, guys. Get prepared. We are getting some breaking news coming in that there's apparently a massive fire in Dnipropetrovsk in Ukraine. Okay, in central Ukraine, there's some kind of massive fire in Dnipropetrovsk and fires in the Odessa region. Okay, from those Iranian drones that Russia's using. We're also hearing that Russian Onyx supersonic cruise missiles were launched towards Odessa. Okay, so the situation is really tense right now. I will report some good news, though. Some good news is that the president of Serbia, with that whole situation I reported on earlier with Kosovo, there was the Kosovo police officer that was killed by the Serbian mercenaries or whatever they were. The Serbian president actually condemned it, and he said that the Serbian government had nothing to do with it, that they did not fund that, that it wasn't affiliated with the Serbian government, and he condemned it. So I guess in a way that's good. But he also said that he would really never support Kosovo independence. So it's kind of a weird situation there, but I guess it's good that it's not going to escalate for now, that the Serbian military is not going to be getting involved. Pretty serious situation, guys. A lot of stuff going on. Mandy, thank you so much for that donation. I really appreciate that. You're so kind. Thank you so much. Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. Thank you for sharing that scripture with us. That was First Thessalonians, looks like verse 5. I'm sorry, that was chapter 5, First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 16 to 17. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we have to pray in times like these. I mean, prayer is just so important. And thank you so much for that donation and for all your support. I really appreciate that. I told you guys something would happen around September 23rd, and it didn't happen exactly on September 23rd, but I didn't say it would. I didn't say, oh, it's going to happen September 23rd exactly on the day. I said around September 23rd. And what happened on September the 22nd? Ukraine eliminated the Black Sea Fleet commander. Okay, so close enough. Okay. And I'm sure that Putin is not happy about that. That's like, I'm trying to think. I mean, just imagine if one of our admirals got taken out by Canada or Mexico or something. I mean, it's a big deal. Okay, and we know that the Black Sea Fleet is the apple in Putin's eye. So that was just like sticking a finger in Putin's eye, basically. That's what Russia was trying to. That's what Ukraine was basically taunting Russia. It's like, so just an absolute crazy situation. John Montgomery, thank you for the donation. Keep up the good work. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. As far as I know, the explosion in Odessa was not nuclear. As far as we know right now, it was not nuclear. Let me see, what other stuff do I have here? So some interesting information in my update earlier. I shared this flight. This was a Polish president's Doomsday plane that went from Warsaw to DC. Okay, Poland has, I think they have like two of these. These are basically equivalent to like a U.S. Doomsday plane, minus Poland doesn't have a nuclear arsenal, so they don't have any communications relays for like nuclear forces. But basically, it's like almost the same thing. It's EMP proof. It has different countermeasures to stop missiles that are launched to it. And this is a state of the art plane, and they wouldn't send it out for no reason. I thought that maybe this could be a Polish defense minister or maybe the Polish president going back to the U.S. for some reason, but I'm hearing, and these are just rumors, I can't confirm 100%. The rumor is that Zelensky is actually on this plane and he's going back to D.C. to meet with Biden, but that's just a rumor. I don't know 100% if that's true. But I thought I would share that with you. So here's a picture of those Chinese ferries, Chinese military ferries in that industrial area right across from China, right across from Taiwan. Okay. So these are those ferries that are affiliated with the Chinese military. Why would you have three of these ferries, right across from Taiwan? Nondescript ferries with no markings on them that you could easily put tanks and infantry forces on there if there were an invasion. Pretty crazy situation here. A lot of stuff going on, but like I said with Ukraine, Mark Milley, he said that the counteroffensive is not going to be affected by the rainy season in Ukraine, and that Ukraine is going to continue to fight through the rainy season and through the winter time. Okay, so let me just show you guys what we got going on right now. I was going to share this earlier, but I forgot. So right now we have a lot of NATO planes in Eastern Europe. We have a lot of activity here. We currently have an AWACS plane patrolling the Romanian Black Sea coast. We have RQ-4 Global Hawk patrolling the Crimean Peninsula and near the Kerch Bridge. It's been up there basically since last night. And what's interesting is there were 2 aerial refuelers that went to Romania. It's very interesting. Looks like one of them refueled this AWACS plane, because these AWACS planes, they usually take off from Turkey, and by the time they get from Turkey to Romania, they burn up a lot of their fuel, so they refuel them once they get to Romania, so they're topped off, and then they can stay over here for a while. We also have this P-8 Poseidon flying off the coast of Kaliningrad. Now, keep in mind, those Russian naval exercises are about to start any hour now, okay, in Kaliningrad. And we have a US P-8 Poseidon flying in the area where Russia said they were going to do exercises, okay? And the US has been flying these P-8s here for a very, very long time. The last 3 weeks, they've been flying twice a day, basically, okay, in this area. Look how close they are to Kaliningrad. I mean, literally just, 30, 40 miles from Russia, okay? So, NATO is on high alert right now. Pretty crazy situation going on here. We also have a nuclear war command and control plane up in the air right now off the coast of Florida. Okay, right here. Check this out. Coming in, must have just been out at sea over here somewhere communicating with one of our nuclear armed submarines. So, it's just so much stuff, guys. It's like so much news. It's hard to keep track of everything, but I'm trying to do my best to keep you guys updated with the latest information. So let me just see what you guys are saying here in the chat. Anna Maria says, doing a good job, Greg. Thank you, Anna Maria. I appreciate that. Mary Ann Williams says, love your videos. Lord bless you and yours. Thank you. I appreciate that. God bless you all, guys. Nate Bradley, you do an awesome job. You do awesome, Greg. Thank you. I appreciate that, Nate Bradley. So let me continue on with the news here. We have some more breaking news to share. Let me see. What do we got here? I covered Taiwan already. I covered the attacks right now on Ukraine and in Russia. Earlier today there was several explosions at an airfield in Russia, in the Halino airfield in Kursk. According to preliminary data, the airbase was hit by Ukrainian drones, and there's already military casualties. Okay, so Russia's getting hit hard by Ukrainian drones. Oh, we also have some major breaking news. Man, there's so much news. It's insane. The Belarusian army has received access to Russian nuclear weapons. Okay, and this is coming from the Deputy State Secretary of the Belarusian Security Council, and he reported that on Belarusian state TV. Okay, the Belarusian army has received access to Russian nuclear weapons. Okay, if you remember, Russia moved nuclear weapons into Belarus over the summer in July. And so initially, Russia said that Belarus would not have custody of them, that basically they were still Russian nuclear weapons and only Russia could authorize their use. But now the Belarusian army is saying that they have access to these weapons, which basically means they could use it whenever they feel they need to. Okay, and specifically, they said the Belarusian army. Okay, the Belarusian army, not the Belarusian Air Force, the Belarusian army has received access to Russian nuclear weapons. So what does that mean? That means the Iskander missiles that Belarus has, they have over a dozen of them, and they just got another shipment like a month ago of 12 more. All those Iskander missiles probably have nuclear warheads on them. Okay. So, it's possible that it may not be Russia that launches the nukes at Ukraine. It's possible that Russia uses Belarus to launch nukes at Ukraine, and then this way Russia can't get blamed for it by the West. They can just say, "Oh, it was Belarus that did it." So that's a possibility too. But Belarus now has access to Russian nuclear weapons. The Belarus army, and this is coming from the Deputy State Secretary of the Belarusian Security Council. Okay, so that's like their national security council. We also have some breaking news coming out of Poland. The Polish Ministry of Defense said that there were attacks on the Polish border by migrants from the Belarusian side. And the Polish Ministry of Defense said, thanks to the strengthened presence of the Polish army on the border, the plan of Russia and Belarus failed. Okay, so apparently a bunch of migrants tried to go into Poland, and the Polish army repelled it. There's over like 15,000 active Polish troops on the border of Belarus now. And we also have some breaking news. Apparently, coming out of France, France is going to withdraw its ambassador and troops from Niger. Okay, so the French ambassador and diplomatic staff in Niger's capital will be evacuated to France in the next few hours. Okay, so sometime today, the French ambassador and everything, they're all leaving, and French troops. We also have some breaking news coming out of Iran. The Iranian Ministry of Defense says that it has missiles designed primarily to strike Israel, and they call this missile the Qasem Soleimani missile. I'm guessing that's named after the general that was assassinated under Trump when Trump took him out with that, I forget what they used to take him out, like a tomahawk or something like that. So let's see, what else do I have here? So that's pretty serious, okay? Iran has a special missile designed primarily to strike Israel, okay? We have some breaking news coming from Israel. Apparently, Israel is on the cusp of reaching a peace deal with Saudi Arabia. This is coming from Benjamin Netanyahu. This was reported by Reuters. Also, apparently, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia also confirmed the same thing. And they're just both waiting for Biden to sign this peace deal. Okay, this would be historic. Okay, Saudi Arabia and Israel have never had a peace agreement, and so this is biblical. Basically, this peace deal between Saudi Arabia and Israel is biblical in the sense that Israel is going to become allies with Saudi Arabia, and they're both going to fight against the Magog alliance in the end times. Saudi Arabia and Israel are going to be against Magog, okay, because Saudi Arabia is not part of the Magog alliance, but it's in the Mideast region. So I think that's all the breaking news that I wanted to cover. I think that's pretty much everything. So just make sure you guys are getting prepared. I want to just quickly read to you something from my subscribers. I've been getting emails from you guys about unusual military activity. If you have any kind of unusual military activity that you want to report, send it to my email, NYPrepper85@gmail.com. If you see anything unusual, and I'm not talking about, I saw a Black Hawk fly over my house. Just because you see one Black Hawk fly over your house doesn't necessarily mean it's unusual. But if you see, if you've never seen a Black Hawk ever in your life where you live, and then suddenly you see 2 or 3 of them, okay, then that's unusual. So let me read to you what this person wrote here to me. Good evening. I have been watching your channel lately on tracking the aircraft, and I live in Alexandria, Louisiana, around the AEX, and also in between there and Fort Johnson, primarily Fort Polk. We have always seen Helos and Globemasters and C-130s coming in and out. Tonight, however, at approximately 9:45 p.m., I saw in person and on flight radar at least 8 Globemasters land at AEX. Only one had a transponder on. The curious part was that right behind them, at least 4 of the Spanish Airbus A400M landed back to back, and only one of them had a transponder on. I thought this was interesting, given what you have seen also. Okay, so somebody in Alexandria, Louisiana, near Fort Polk or Fort Johnson, saw 8 C-17 Globemasters and 4 Spanish Airbus A400s land. Only 2 of them had their transponders on. Okay, so out of 12 planes, only 2 had transponders on. Okay, and he says that normally there's only 2 or 3 of them. And this happened last night, 9:45 p.m. I also want to read to you a comment from somebody, a veteran that watches my channel, and I want to just read what he wrote about my commentary about these Doomsday planes, because there's been a lot of people out there saying that, oh, these Doomsday planes are all up in the air all the time. So let me read to you what this guy wrote. Okay, in the Navy, I was an F-18 plane captain and aviation electrician's mate. In the Army, I was a man-pad operator, and in the Air Force, I was a command and control emergency actions controller, which required us to have a top-secret SCI clearance the entire time, to include Yankee White caveats. Okay, Yankee White is the highest clearance in the U.S. When you're a Yankee White, that means you have direct access to the president. Okay, they call that the Yankee White clearance. So this guy had a top secret SCI, and then apparently he did some Yankee White stuff. He says, I'm extremely familiar with your reporting, and honestly, you're pretty on point. Okay, that's what he said. I'm extremely familiar with your reporting, and honestly, you're pretty on point. Okay, so he knows about Doomsday planes because he worked with the president, and he's saying that I'm on point. Okay, so that's just to validate everything I've been saying the last few weeks, because there's been a lot of trolls coming on and trying to derail everything that I say and claim that it's normal and that it's nothing to worry about. And here we have a veteran, basically saying that everything that I'm saying is right. Okay. Lorna says, Greg, people in the chat are asking for a recap of your top stories. Yeah, so the top stories, you can skip back, but basically we have a situation brewing in China and Taiwan. We have Taiwan sent out reconnaissance planes to monitor a specific area of China where there's currently ground forces that are doing drills, combined arms drills, joint drills. Basically, all the different branches of the military are doing drills right across from Taiwan in this particular area. And there were also 3 Chinese military ferries docked in an industrial area right across from Taiwan. Also, a Chinese aircraft carrier is in the Taiwan Strait right now. So possibly China's gearing up for something. Putin's going to be going to Beijing in October to meet with Xi Jinping. We currently have a massive drone attack in Russia. Ukraine is launching a massive amount of drones at Russia. They shut down 2 of their major airports in Moscow. They're shut down. The airports are shut down. and the airspace is closed. Multiple regions in Russia are reporting explosions, including Crimea. Crimea is getting pounded again. It looks like Ukraine fired a cruise missile into Donetsk, and apparently they targeted the leadership of the Donetsk People's Republic. Let me see. Let me check my notes. What else did I talk about? Also Ukraine is under attack right now. There was a massive explosion in Odessa. Caliber cruise missiles were fired from the Black Sea. Apparently, Zelensky is flying back to the U.S. on a Polish Doomsday plane. Lots of stuff going on here. Let me see. What else did I cover? Oh, Russia's doing the exercises. Okay, Russia's doing exercises right next to Poland. They're going to be doing naval exercises right next to Poland. They're going to do naval exercises right next to Alaska. And they're going to be doing naval exercises just north of Scandinavia. Okay. Iran says that they have a missile designed primarily to strike Israel. Israel is on the cusp of reaching a peace deal with Saudi Arabia. And then some of my viewers are reporting that there's an unusual amount of military activity in their area. So yeah, crazy stuff. So much news. It's really insane how much news there is. So absolutely insane. Absolutely crazy. Bruce Kral says, I live 25 miles east of Toledo Airport, and the F-16s have been flying over my area. Gary Mushinsky says, F-18s out of NG 180 wing flying today. One of them had the candle lit all to the Lake Erie. Okay, the National Guard 180th wing. I'm guessing that's Ohio National Guard. Because I know here in PA we don't have any fighter jets here. We just have ground vehicles. So that must be Ohio. Yeah, wars and rumors of wars. So let me just double check and see if I covered everything. It's just so much news, guys. It's just absolutely insane. So we just have to be prepared for some kind of big escalation very soon. I have a really bad feeling that there's going to be some kind of big escalation. You know, Putin has to do something to show that he's strong. You know, with all these attacks on Russia lately. Here's that NOTAM again for the Russian exercise right next to Poland. Okay, literally right next to Poland's biggest shipping port. Okay, huge, absolutely huge. Here's a video that was shared by the Polish Ministry of Defense. This is funny. This is kind of a funny video. It shows some weird migrants that crossed from Poland into Belarus. So they went into Belarus, and Belarus didn't even care. They just crossed right into Belarus, and they were insulting the Polish border guards. I mean, just really bizarre. Just play this video for you guys.
I love Germany. Poland.
Okay.
Goodbye.
I love you. Belarus. This? Poland.
So stupid they're doing that finger thing. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be.
I love Germany. Poland.
Okay?
Goodbye.
I love you. Belarus. This? Poland.
I love Germany. Poland.
Okay?
Goodbye.
So let me just share some video footage here. We also have an update on the situation with Poland and Ukraine with the grain. So the Polish president promises to help Ukraine with grain transit amid dispute. Poland remains ready to help export grain from Ukraine to global markets outside of Europe, despite an ongoing dispute over access to the Polish market. President Andrzej Duda said. Duda defended his government's decision to maintain a ban on the sale of Ukrainian grain in Poland, speaking in a September 24 interview with the Polish public channel TVP1. He said radical measures were necessary to support Poland's farmers and agricultural market, but Duda said the country would do everything possible to ensure as much Ukrainian grain could still be transported through Poland to reach the poorest countries in the world where Duda said it is needed the most. Okay. So basically, he's saying that, yeah, we're going to allow Ukrainian grain to pass through, but they have the number one, the grain has to pass through. It can't be sold in Poland. And number two, it can't go to Germany or France. It has to go to Africa where it's actually needed. Okay. So that's what the Polish president is saying, which I think is fair. I mean, I think it's fair. Poland has bent over backwards and helped Ukraine so much. So I think it's fair. They're trying to protect their farmers. Poland can't just give everything away and sacrifice itself and destroy itself. They have to survive too, and they face a lot of the same issues that Ukraine has. So, that I think it's fair, So let me just share some footage from the tropical storm Ophelia, making a pretty serious impact along the eastern seaboard. Check this out. Some pretty crazy footage here. I mean, pretty insane. And here's some more footage. You can see this whole area is just totally flooded out. Check this out. It's like 2 or 3 feet of water. This whole street is just totally covered in water. Look at that. And the media hasn't really reported on it much, They've been pretty quiet. Somebody's insulting me. What else is new? Everybody insults me. It's just, when you're a YouTuber, especially once you get to the size that I am, you're going to get insults. It's just the nature of the business. If you let every little thing get to you, you're never gonna convey anything in your videos because you're just gonna be arguing with trolls all the time, and it's just not worth it. Think of it this way: the trolls are actually helping my channel because they're giving me watch time. They're sitting in my chat and watching my videos, so they're clocking my watch time up. They're commenting, which improves my algorithm. More comments is always better. So they're actually helping me. They just don't realize it. Yes, there is an E6 Mercury off the coast of Florida right now. I'll just share that with you guys again. It's just coming in. It's coming in right now. So it was just out. Um, it was just out, probably doing loops, communicating with our subs. Um, there's still a good amount of emergency action messages today. It seems like they've slowed down a little bit. So Miss Anonymous says, I'm in southeastern New England and it's been raining for 2 days. Wow, that's crazy. 2 days. Yeah, it's been raining here in PA for like 2 days also. Ruined my whole weekend, basically. Jelly Beans says, I was at the Outer Banks on Friday morning. I got out of there as quickly as I could. Glad you got out of there. You wouldn't want to be there now. Mike Weinstein says, you do a great job. Thank you very much. New York Adventure, great to see you. Those trolls need to go live in Russia if they think it's so much better, or go live in Russia if they think it's so much better. Yeah, that's true. They have a little bit of a rosy picture of life under Putin. They have a little bit of a rosy picture. They think that it's better than life here. So they should follow in the footsteps of Steven Seagal and get citizenship over there. So thanks to all the mods for tuning in. Earth Angel Anna, great to see you. Vision Preparedness, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a great weekend. Nate Bradley, Lee Billy, Montana Deb, Lorna, thank you guys. All the mods that have been in here tonight, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Master AGN, great to see you. NC Open Carry, what's going on? LB Rules, Uncle Mike, thank you guys so much. Amy Mrachkowski, thank you. Vision Preparedness says you're doing well. Glad to hear that. Rip Curl says, do you show anything taking off out of Southern Oregon? Just wondering because we have P8s, P3s, and F18s taking off in groups all the time. Some just took off, but they never seem to show. Yeah, I'll take a look right now while you're on live. I'll take a look for you. Smoking Swamp Outdoors, Karen Mills, Alan Mandel, thank you for that donation. I really appreciate it. Let me go and see what's going on in Oregon. P. Goothy says, is it hard to get an elk hunting license in PA? Yes, it is hard to get an elk hunting license. The only way you can easily get an elk hunting license is if you have $300,000 to spare. You can get what's called the governor's tag. So they do that to raise money. I think it's kind of BS, but basically they auction off an elk license to like super wealthy people. And a lot of times it auctions off for like $250,000. But basically the elk in Pennsylvania are world record elk. They're some of the largest elk on earth. The fourth largest bull elk ever taken was taken in PA. Okay. So they did take a world record. It was in 2019, I believe. They did take a world record here, and then it was surpassed after that. But there are world record elk here. The herd is a good size, but it's not enough to where they can sell like hundreds and hundreds of permits. Usually on average, they only sell like max 200 permits a year. So they keep the population very robust. So this way it's a healthy herd and there's a lot of bulls, old bulls. So the population is growing though. There's a few thousand of them now here and they're continuing to grow. and they've actually been here since the 1920s. A lot of people don't know that, but actually, PA was the first state east of the Mississippi to reintroduce elk into the eastern U.S. So PA was first, and then I think after that it was like Kentucky or West Virginia, and then I think also like Tennessee and North Carolina after that. But PA was the first one, so they've actually the elk here have been here for 100 years. They've been here for 100 years. Um, so they've been here a while. The population has fluctuated, but now it's been really going up like the last 20 years or so because they put so much into managing them. They spend a lot of time managing the herd here, so there's some real monsters here. And I have some really good video footage. I think tonight after the stream is over, I'm gonna release another video. But I have some good footage from last week. I saw a bunch of bulls like fighting. It was pretty incredible. I got like several fights on camera. So, and I'm sure I'll probably get more before the rut is over. Rip Curl says the ones you show on your channel are huge. Yeah, they're huge, and yeah, they're massive. They're just massive. Yeah, there's very good food sources for them here. It's not dry, so it's not like out west where there's some dry areas, and that kind of limits the population a little bit. It's very moist here, so they always have a lot of fresh green grass to eat. Except in the middle of the winter. But do I eat bear? Yes, bear actually tastes good. At least black bear does. Black bear has a really good taste to it. It's kind of like beef, but very, very moist, and it's a lot fattier. So yeah, bear meat is really good. Black bear meat, wild black bear meat, is really good. Let me see here. Brenda gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much for gifting 5 memberships. And CC, thank you so much for that donation. Johnny Bravo says, hello, Grzesiu. How's it going, Johnny Bravo? Elk harvesting and processing is a team sport. Yes, it sure is. Be careful eating bear. They have a lot of parasites. Yes, bears do have parasites. You just have to cook them fully. So you can't have any like medium or anything like that. It has to be well done. TX Gal 1969 says, I saw the Polish government plane landed in Arizona. I thought that was a weird place to go. Any ideas? Oh, it landed in Arizona. That's interesting because it had the destination was DC, so I'd have to double check. Let me just check Oregon for Rip Curl. Yeah, the flight tracker's not showing any planes here in Oregon, so they must be flying with their transponders off. Right now we're looking at all military planes across the country, and it is pretty quiet, which is normal for a Sunday. But it is quiet over Oregon right now. Yeah, I'd have to go back and see what happened with that Polish plane. I didn't know it landed in Arizona. That's weird. Kate of Buckingham, great to see you. I hope you're doing well, Kate. Thank you so much for all your support. I saw you join my Patreon. Thank you very much for that. And thanks for all your donations and support. I really appreciate that. Brenda says, stay safe, everyone. I got to run. Sounds good, Brenda. Have a good one. The flight tracker is Flight Radar 24. That's the one that I use. Primarily, I use that one. I never knew about the PA elk license. Yeah, the PA elk license, it costs like, I don't know, not much to enter every year. You enter the lottery, and every year that you don't get chosen, they re-enter you the next year as an extra entry. So every year you don't get chosen is like an extra entry into the lottery. So I'm up to like 5 years that I didn't get chosen. And so I'm up to like 5 extra entries. So when I go to apply this year, which I already did, they're going to enter me over and over like 5 times, or next year. I'm sorry. When I apply next year, they're going to enter me like 5 times over and over. So it is hard to get, unfortunately, but whatever. I just like to watch them, to be honest with you. It's fun just watching them. If I could hunt them, that would be amazing. I can always go to Idaho or some other state that has over the counter tags and go elk hunting there. But from what I understand, from what people tell me, is that the elk here in PA are larger than a lot of the Western states. So if I go out there with the mentality that I'm going to see these monsters that I see here, I'm going to be disappointed, because most places out west, they don't have monster elk like that. It's only in specific areas, and they have a vast area to roam. So it's hard to really see like monster elks all the time. Like here, here they're very densely packed into a smaller area. So, it's easier to see the big ones, especially during the rut. Um, Greg, can you confirm the plane on screen is where the last Russian sub was sighted months ago? Unfortunately, I cannot confirm that 100%. God's Country Homestead, what's going on? Our elk in Rocky Mountain National Park are the size of horses. Oh, I'm sure they are. Yeah, I've heard Colorado has monster elk. Um, Sounds like they're very similar to the ones here. Um, Rocky Mountain National Park is beautiful. Hopefully, I can go there one day. Um, Elaine Dickerson Haney says, great video, and I love to watch them. Sort of scary, but it's needed. Thanks for all you do for Mississippi. South Dakota, Wyoming, Colorado is impossible to get a permit. Yes, it's hard to get in those states. I believe South Dakota doesn't allow a lot of non-residents to hunt. A lot of their big game, it's reserved mostly for residents. It's Green says, it's Green Bowie Z8 says, have I ever played Half-Life 2? No, I've never played Half-Life 2. I've heard of it. I just never play. I never played it. I've played a lot of video games. I like video games, but I never played Half-Life 2. I'll have to look into that one. I'm going to put it on the list. So let me see if there's anything going on right now on the flight tracker in Europe. It looks like we still have the P8 Poseidon here off the coast of Kaliningrad. And we still have this AWACS plane in Romania doing loops here. So that's pretty much all the breaking news. That's why I wanted to do this emergency alert. I'm going to wind down the live stream here because it is Sunday evening, and I have some things I got to do. So I'm going to wind it down here. But it was great to see you guys. I'm sorry I got to cut it a little short. I'd love to stay and hang out like longer, but I can't. So yes, there is a blackout in Russia right now in St. Petersburg. Yes. New York Adventurer says, my mom has a friend living in Colorado. We had them over at the house. I was sad when they had to leave. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's always sad when family friends have to leave. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Phil, Lily Highlander, Crow, TN, Doris. Do you have the radar feature on that app? I'm not sure what app you're talking about, Doris. I don't know what you mean. You can email me if you have any questions. I can help out on the email. NYPrepper85@gmail.com. John Montgomery says, thank you, brother. Sammy Shazada, great to see you in here. Bradley Moore, I hope you're doing well. Thank you guys for tuning in. Cody B, what's going on? Tactical Matt Foley says best channel on the tube of views. Thank you, Tactical Matt. I appreciate that. Thank you. P Goothy, $5 footlong. Rip Curl Readiness, Lorna. Prepper G, Mid-Atlantic. Rabbit says, do I agree about a Russian sub was parked there? I don't know if there was a Russian sub parked there. There's really no way to verify that. Unless it was like, visually seen. Rip Curl Readiness, Thick Forest to Hunting. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to wind it down. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Remember to give thanks to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Think about all the blessings in your life. I'm sure you can find something, as bad as your life seems. And other than that, I will talk to you guys soon. I'll keep you updated, and I'll probably be dropping another elk video just in a little bit here if you want to watch that. So other than that, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.